Comfort and keep comforting my people, says your God. Tell Jerusalem to take heart. Proclaim to her that she has completed her time of service, that her guilt has been paid off, that she has received at the hand of Adonai double for all her sins. A voice cries out, "Clear a road through the desert for Adonai. Level a highway in the Arava for our God. Let every valley be filled in, every mountain and hill lowered, the bumpy places made level, and the crags become a plain. Then the glory of Adonai will be revealed. All humankind together will see it, for the mouth of Adonai has spoken." A voice says, "Proclaim." And I answer, "What should I proclaim? All humanity is merely grass. All its kindness like wildflowers. The grass dries up, the flower fades when a wind from Adonai blows on it. Surely the people are grass. The grass dries up, the flower fades, but the word of our God will stand forever. You who bring good news to Zion, get yourself up on a high mountain. You who bring good news to Jerusalem, cry out on the top of your voice. Don't be afraid to shout aloud. Say to the cities of Yehuda, "Here is our God." Here comes Adonai Elohim with power, and his arms will rule for him. Look, his reward is with him, and his recompense is before him. He is like a shepherd feeding his flock, gathering his lambs with his arm, carrying them against his chest, gently leading the mother sheep. You who counted the handfuls of water in the sea, measured out the sky with a ruler, gauged how much dust there should be on earth, weighed the mountains on a scale or the hills in a balance. Who has measured the spirit of Adonai? Who has been his counselor, instructing him? Whom did he consult to gain understanding? Who taught him how to judge? Taught him what he needed to know? Showed him how to discern? The nations are like a drop in a bucket. They count like a grain of dust on the scales. The islands weigh as little as specks of dust. The Lebanon would not suffice for fuel, or its animals be enough for burnt offerings. Before him all the nations are like nothing. He regards them as less than nothing. With whom, then, will you compare God? By what standard will you evaluate him? An image made by a craftsman, which a goldsmith overlays with gold, for which then casts silver chains? A man too poor to afford an offering chooses a piece of wood that won't rot, then seeks a skilled artisan to prepare an image that won't fall over. Don't you know? Don't you hear? Haven't you been told from the start? Don't you understand how the earth is set up? How it sits above the circle of the earth, for whom its inhabitants appear like grasshoppers, stretches out the heavens like a curtain, spreads them out like a tent to live in. He reduces princes to nothing, the rulers of the earth to emptiness. Scarcely are they planted, scarcely sown, scarcely their stem taken root in the ground. When he blows on them, they dry up, and the whirlwind carries them off like straw. With whom then will you compare me? With whom am I equal? Asked the Holy One. Turn your eyes to the heavens. See who created these things. He brings out the army of them in sequence, summoning each by name. Through his great might and his massive strength, not one of them is missing. Why do you complain, Yaakov? Why do you say, Israel, my way is hidden from Adonai, my rights are ignored by my God? Haven't you known, haven't you heard that the everlasting God, Adonai, the creator of the heaven, the creator of the ends of the earth, does not grow tired or weary. His understanding cannot be fathomed. He invigorates the exhausted. He gives strength to the powerless. Young men may grow tired and weary. Even the fittest may stumble and fall. But those who hope in Adonai will renew their strength. They will soar aloft as with eagle's wings. When they are running, they won't grow weary. When they are walking, they won't get tired. Keep silence before me, coastlands. Let the people replenish their strength. Let them approach. Let them speak. Let us assemble for judgment. Who has raised from the east one who has just, and called him to be his service? He hands nations over to him, and subject kings to him. His sword reduces them to dust, his bow to driven straw. He pursues them, passing on unscathed, hardly touching the path with his feet. Whose work is this? Who has brought it about? He who called the generations from the beginning. I, Adonai, am the first. I am the same as those who are last. Coastlands have seen and become afraid. The ends of the earth have trembled. They have approached, and now they have come. Every one of them helps his fellow workman. Everyone says to his brother, be strong. The woodworker encourages the goldsmith. The polisher encourages the hammer. The hammerer, he says to the soldiers, yes, that's good, and puts nails in the idol to keep it from moving. But you, Israel, my servant, Yaakov, whom I have chosen, descendants of Abraham, my friend, I have taken you from the ends of the earth, summoned you from the most distant parts, and said to you, you are my servant. I have chosen you, not rejected you. Don't be afraid, for I am with you. Don't be distressed, for I am your God. I give you strength. I give you help. I support you with my victorious right hand. All those who are angry with you will be disgraced, put to shame. Those who fought against you will be destroyed, brought to nothing. You will seek them, but not find them. Those who are contended with you, yes, those who made war with you, will be brought to nothing, nothing at all. For I, Adonai, your God, say to you, as I hold your right hand, have no fear. I will help you. Have no fear, Yaakov. You worm, you men of Israel. I will help you, says Adonai. Your Redeemer is the Holy One of Israel. I will make you into a threshing sledge, new with sharp pointed teeth, to thresh the mountains and crush them to dust, to reduce the hills to chaff. As you fan them, the wind will carry them off, and the whirlwind will scatter them. And you will rejoice in Adonai. You will glory in the Holy One of Israel. The poor and needy will look for water in vain. Their tongues are parched with thirst. I, Adonai, will answer them. I, the God of Israel, will not leave them. I will open up rivers on the barren hills and wells down in the broad valleys. I will turn the desert into a lake, the dry ground into springs. I will plant the desert with cedars, acacias, myrtles, and olive trees. In the Arava, I will plant cypresses together with elm trees and larches. Then the people will see and know, together observe and understand that the hand of Adonai has done this, that the Holy One of Israel created it. Present your case, says Adonai. Produce your argument, says Yaakov's king. Bring out those idols. Have them foretell the future for us. Tell us about past events so that we can reflect on them and understand their consequences. Or tell us about the events yet to come. State what will happen in the future so that we can know you are gods. At least do something, either good or bad, anything, to make us awestruck and fearful. You can't, because you are less than nothing. Whoever chooses you is an abomination. I rouse someone from the north, and he has come from the rising sun. He will call on my name. He will trample on rulers as if they were mud, like a potter treading clay. Who said this at the start so we could know, or foretold it so we could say, he's right? In fact, no one said it. No one foretold it. The fact is, nobody hears what you say. I am the first to declare it to Zion, to send Jerusalem a messenger with good news. But when I look around, there is no one. Not a single one can give counsel. Who, when I ask, can give an answer. Look at them all. What they do is nothing. Their idols are so much wind and waste. Here is my servant whom I support, my chosen one in whom I take pleasure. I will put my spirit on him. He will bring justice to the nations. He will not cry or shout. No one will hear his voice in the streets. He will not snap off a broken reed or snuff out a smoldering wick. He will bring forth justice according to truth. He will not weaken or be crushed until he has established justice on the earth, and the coastlands wait for his Torah. Thus says God, Adonai, who created the heavens and spread them out, who stretched out the earth and all that grows from it, who gives breath to the people on it, the spirit to those who walk on it. I, Adonai, called you righteously. I took hold of you by my hand. I shaped you and made you a covenant for the people, to be a light for the nations, so that you can open blind eyes, free the prisoners from confinement, those living in darkness from the dungeon. I am Adonai. This is my name. I yield my glory to no one else, nor my praise to any idol. So how the former predictions come true, and now new things do I declare. Before they sprout, I tell you about them. Sing to Adonai a new song. Let his praise be sung from the ends of the earth, by those sailing to the sea, by everything in it, by the coastlands and those living there. Let the desert and its cities raise their voices, the villages where Kedar lives. Let those living in Selah shout for joy. Let them cry from the mountaintops. Let them give glory to Adonai and proclaim his praise in the coastlands. Adonai will go out like a soldier roused to the fury of battle. He will shout, yes, he raises the battle cry, and he triumphs over his foes. For a long time I have held my peace. I have been silent, restrained myself. Now I will shriek like a woman in labor, panting and grasping for air. I will devastate the mountains and hills, wither all the vegetation, turn the rivers into islands and dry up their lakes. The blind I will lead on the road they don't know. On roads they don't know I will lead them. I will turn darkness to light before them and strengthen their twisted paths. These are things I will do without fail. Those who trust in idols, who say to statues, you are our gods. We were repulsed in utter shame. Listen, you deaf. Look, you blind, so that you will see. Who is blind as my servant, or deaf as a messenger I send? Who is blind as one I rewarded, as blind as the servant of Adonai? You see much, but don't pay attention. You open your ears, but you don't listen. Adonai was pleased for his righteousness' sake to make the Torah great and glorious. But this is a people pillaged and plundered, all trapped in holes and sequestered in prisons. They are there to be plundered, with no one to rescue them. There to be pillaged, and no one says, return them. Which of you will listen to this? Who will hear and give heed in the times to come? Who gave Yaakov to be pillaged, Israel to the plunderers? Didn't Adonai, against whom we have sinned, in whose ways they refused to walk, to whose Torah they did not obey? This is why he poured on them his blazing anger, as well as his fury of battle. It wrapped him in flames, yet he learned nothing. It burned him, yet he did not take it to heart.